And welcome everybody to episode 66 of the Paws Up Podcast. This streak of talking with some of the best FIU athletes there are continues as today we sit down with Oyinlomo Quadre of the FIU women's tennis program, back-to-back Conference USA championships. Oyin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be on this episode today.
Oyen, your accolades speak for themselves, and of course you have a very interesting story at which we want to get into. Of course, we've spoken to a lot of athletes on the show that come from all over the United States, but it's rare we speak to athletes that come from another country, let alone another part of the planet. So, just being born and raised in Nigeria, how did you ultimately fall in love with the sport, and when did you realize that you wanted to take it seriously and competitively?
It was actually pretty early for me. I come from like a tennis family. My dad plays tennis. My sister plays tennis and my brother plays tennis. So I'm the last child. So they used to play tennis from like a very young age. And so I kind of picked it up quite early. I started like at the age of 4 and I always knew what I wanted to do. It was always tennis for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. A crazy household when it comes to tennis, but that's awesome. So, talk a little bit more about the sports scene in Nigeria. I mean, where does tennis rank in the public interest and national representation compared to other sports like soccer or football, if you want to call it that, cricket, or, and I did my research, the country's very own sport, loofball.
Not really. I mean, tennis in Nigeria is not like really big. Everyone is more interested in soccer. As you know already, we have like a
Yeah.
very good soccer team. And for tennis, it's just like a sport where people play like recreationally. We have like exceptional talents,
Hmm.
but because it's not like really big, so you don't actually get a lot of support. You don't play a lot of tournaments as much as you would in the US or something. So I wouldn't say it's actually a big thing, in Nigeria.
Okay.
Well, obviously, you know about tennis because that's the sport you play. But obviously, growing up, you'd probably realize tennis was a sport that you'll be playing competitively as years to come. So, how would you kind of describe your style of tennis, and who were some athletes that you looked up to as continue to compete over the years?
I've always looked up to Serena Williams, like every black female athlete, I think. I've always wanted to be like her. I've always to win as much, I don't know, as much tournaments as she has, as much Grand Slams. But my style of play can be like her. I don't think so. I'm an aggressive baseliner, but I also like to run a lot. And she doesn't run a lot because she has like a lot of power. So I wouldn't say that my style of play is like Serena. I would say my style of playing could be maybe Osaka, maybe Halep. I don't know.
Okay.
But I've always looked up to Serena. I like how she beats the odds every time. She doesn't care what anyone says. She just keeps going for it and going for it.
There we go. And obviously, you talk about the growth for you. One big thing that I want to highlight for you in one of your tournaments you played is the Billie G Cup King, which got to represent Nigeria. And obviously,
Yeah.
that's a huge prestigious honor. Talk a bit about that, being able to represent, your country and do it on, a big stage like that in a tournament.
This is something I've been doing for quite some time now. And it's always like a big honor for me to play against other teams and of course to wear like the Nigerian jersey. I've been wearing it as a junior also, and every single time I play it feels nice, to play for your own
Mhm.
country. And every time I want us to like get to the next step, like I said, tennis is not really big in Nigeria, and I'm
Uh-huh.
hoping to change that someday. It's one of my goals.
So let's talk a bit more about the differences between singles matches and double matches. Obviously, you dabble in both. So just how do you go about getting ready for a singles match compared to a doubles match and vice versa? And do you have a preference between the two types of tennis styles?
Yeah. Right now, I don't really have a preference. Before college, though, I loved singles. I'm not really a doubles player. Like,
Hmm.
I think in college, I grew a lot, practicing with my coaches. They helped me a lot get comfortable on the court in doubles. And now it's like something that prepares me for singles.
Okay.
In class now, you start with the doubles matches and then the singles matches. So
Okay.
every single time for me, it's like I whatever I do in doubles actually matters in my singles match. So it like goes hand in hand and stuff. But I still prefer singles. I feel like it's more individual. I'm used to playing alone on the courts, and it's better when you know that I don't know, you have to do everything yourself. You kind
Hmm.
of perform better. At the same time, doubles is fun. I like to laugh a lot. You make some stupid errors, sometimes stupid plannings with my doubles partners. And it's kind of fun to also have someone share the court with you, and share everything else,
Right.
the decision making and all that.
Absolutely had that synergy in the NCAA tournament this past in doubles. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's get into just talking about starting to talk about your journey to FIU. So, again, being the number one ranked junior of Nigeria, I would assume that representing a country brings about a lot of international interest, and obviously FIU was one of those colleges. But I'm wondering how many other colleges, not just in the United States, but the rest of the world, actually reached out to you when it was time for you to make your decision.
Actually, a lot. I can barely remember them actually. So at first, I actually wanted to play professionally.
Hmm.
I just wanted to go full on play pro. At the same time, like I come from a family where like education is really important, like to my parents.
Uh
And
huh.
so it was like a tough decision, for me. I had to speak to my parents a lot and all that. But every single time I was talking to all these schools, FIU was like top of the list because it felt like home. Like I was speaking to the coach and I had like my friends here, two friends who were already going to FIU. It just felt like if I actually wanted to go to college, which was actually something that made me scared at that time, I wanted to
Yeah.
go somewhere I felt comfortable in.
Hmm.
So it was always like, okay, if I do end up going to college, I'm gonna go to FIU. But yeah, you're right. I did have like a lot of options.
So, speaking about FIU and how they recruited you, was it Coach Cat that talked to you initially? Was it just a whole other recruitment team? What did they say to you that really convinced you that this was the right school for you?
Honestly, for me, it was like so funny. I was speaking to Coach Kat actually,
Okay.
but so I spoke to Coach Kat. She was really, really positive, but I still
Hmm.
felt like I am like, I don't know, I don't know her. It was difficult to trust someone who was like just really positive in my game and everything. And then I spoke to my friends who were already in the team, and they actually said very good things about the team, about Coach Kat, and about the system and everything. Every I think I spent 1 year talking to my friend, and every time she would be like, "Oh, look at this! I do this too. I go to the ATR. I can do extra." And I was like, "Oh, it's so nice there. Everything is so organized, and the coach seems cool." She didn't actually say something special, but there was one thing that was really important to me, which was I asked her if we were practicing like pros because that was really important to me. And she did say, yeah, she actually said like almost every player on the team wants to play professionally. And this is something that I really, really like about our team.
You're muted, Johnny.
There we go. And for you, so you joined in what was it? I guess spring of last year in 2023, right? FIU.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Just making
yes,
sure.
I
And
did.
yeah, so obviously for you coming into a new country, United States, in Miami, a lot of adjusting to do. So what were some things that were kind of a culture shock to you coming to the United States, coming to Miami, into a senior like FIU, which is a gorgeous campus and just a beautiful place to come to.
Yeah, actually, the first time I got here, it was actually pretty tough. I wasn't actually looking around. It was like I had to just get directly into the system. I had to go for, I don't know, orientation. Like I had just 1 week and then we started playing matches. So everything was pretty new to me. But
Hmm.
I just was really happy to be here. It was also my first time in the States, actually. So
Yeah.
I was excited to be here. And actually being with my friends actually helped me transition a lot easier. They were like friends that I knew already. So they would tell me a lot of things about the things on campus and all that. And FIU is FIU. It's like internationals. I met a lot of internationals and it just didn't feel like I was going somewhere strange. I quickly picked up my best place on campus, Panda. Everything went smooth, I would say, actually. Starting in spring wasn't as hard as I thought.
Well, when you first got to Miami specifically, between things like the weather, obviously the large Hispanic community here, other aspects, what was the one thing you saw immediately that was like, oh my God, this is not Nigeria. This is something completely different.
Okay, I think it's the Hispanic community. So it's
Okay.
like I got in an Uber and the guy could only speak Spanish. So I'm
Okay.
thinking, well, I'm in the US, you should speak English. He's like, why don't you speak English? But like, he could only speak Spanish, and I figured that out like few times when I went out. Like every time I would have to call my friend who speaks Spanish just in case the driver can understand me. That was the most surprising thing. Actually, the weather is the same as in Nigeria. It's hot, and it's hot in Miami, so it's like the same. So that's the only thing I would say that was really surprising.
And for you, obviously, you adjusted to, I guess more of the style of tennis, which is in the college ranking. So, what are something that you had to learn with how, I guess, college tennis works, and playing in the United States compared to maybe more, again, professional setting when where you were in Nigeria?
So I just try not to calculate much. Like when I was playing, like before getting to college, like I was calculating, I had yearly goals with my parents, because I like to work with goals. It actually helps me see if I'm progressing or if I'm not and what to change and all that. But when I got here, actually the first semester was like an open book, for me and my parents. It was just like enjoy it, let's see how it goes, practice
Mhm.
hard, gave 100%. I think I started to figure out things last semester, really. My coach started to explain things to me, like the NCAA, the regionals, and all that. I didn't play the fall season, so I didn't get to, I don't know, ease into the college system. So I didn't really understand a lot of things. And I think that actually helped me because while I would have maybe some of my teammates feeling a lot of pressure, I just didn't understand the importance of like some things, or I didn't even have a goal,
Mm.
basically. So it was easy for me to just give 100% every day in the positive community like FIU.
And when you came to FIU, talk a little about adjusting to FIU and having friends. Who were some people on the team that kind of help you adjust to this new life of going to college and really making the most in your first semester?
On my team, you mean, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Definitely Salma Ludili. Shout out to her. She graduated like last semester. She's the captain of the team. And she was a friend that I knew. I actually grew up with her because I actually didn't live my teenage years in Nigeria. From like 12, I lived in Morocco, in Casablanca, because I was playing tennis there. So I lived there with her and one other teammate, former teammate, Yasmin Kabaj. She transferred now. And so before coming here, I already knew them. They were like my childhood friends. And coming here was like, we just picked up our friendship. They would tell me what to do and what not to do. And they helped me actually ease into it. And then shout out to Coach Kat. Actually, like I said, imagine coming the first semester and just going directly to play. She was really
Yeah.
understanding about a lot of things, and she made me feel like it was like a safe space to actually communicate and to properly compete.
Do you remember the first match you played with as a Panther, where it was and who the opponent was?
I think I remember something. So I played against Liberty,
Okay.
somewhere, not on campus, away. It was horrible. I can tell you that. It was really bad. I remember clearly. I can never forget that match. I think my whole life. It was like
Mm.
my first match in like 8 months. And so when I played, everything was strange to me. I watched my teammates playing and screaming, saying like, "Let's go." I watched like my coach walk on courts. That's not normal. Normally, like in the professional circuit, and I'm like, "Why is she walking on court like that?" And she comes directly to me. She's like, "Oh, it's okay. Do this, do that." I was like, "Okay, is this allowed? What's going on here?" Everywhere was like really loud. I couldn't focus. My head was like everywhere. I was like, "Is this how it is in college?" I didn't even cheer for my teammates. And my coach was like, "Oh, you have to cheer." I'm like, "During the match, really?" And it was horrible. I can say that. But she was really positive about it. She wasn't She was like, okay, it's okay. You're gonna ease into it in like a few weeks or something.
How did you how would you compare how you prepared for that match and your excitement level for that match compared to say any match this past season for you?
Mm, honestly, I was more excited for that match than any other match. I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna play, and I wanted to play, and well, it went horribly. And another good thing about college tennis is like you play a lot of matches that it starts to feel like normal.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it started to feel like normal to me. Like for me, every other match is the same. It's as important as the match yesterday, as the match last week. So it just started to feel better. I could go in the match with my eyes closed without feeling pressure or stress or worrying too much. I know that I'm just gonna go on court and do my own thing. So I would say I was way more excited for my first match than any other match.
So, to make a long story short, right, that 2022 to 23 season was absolutely incredible for you and the team. You were the first Panther to win Conference USA Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year in the same season, and obviously helped the team reach the first of their back-to-back Conference USA titles. Looking back at that season, are you shocked at how well everything ended up turning out in year one? Or are you, not surprised at all thinking, oh, man, this was easy for me knowing where I came from?
I would say I was shocked, really. I mean, the process was kind of easy for me, actually, because I
Okay.
didn't pay attention. I didn't really have a goal. So I wasn't expecting too much from myself or anything. So I just went in there and just did my own thing. I didn't even know that you could win that, like win Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year. In the
Yeah.
first few weeks, one of my teammates, shout out to Katia, she won the Player of the Week. I mean, Player of the Week, and I saw that there was something like that, Player of the Week, and then that became a short-term goal. I was like, okay, I want to win Player of the Week also. I'm really competitive, and then that happened, Player of the Week, and then my friends start saying, oh, you can potentially win Freshman of the Year. I was like, what, really? And I just kept playing and playing, and then finally I got Freshman and Player of the Year. That was surprising because I always thought it's not possible to get both awards in the same year.
Yeah.
So it was gonna be like, okay, Freshman of the Year this year, and next year I'm going for the Player of the Year, basically.
You actually ended up winning Player of the Week twice in that season as well. So
Yeah.
super,
Great.
super cool. Super cool. Johnny, is it time for a quick break?
It is.
All righty then. Let's get into my very own news break where we look at all things FIU athletics and just FIU in general.
Where are you going?
Let's just start off with football, kind of. As most of you probably know, E8 College Football 25 is scheduled to release on July 19th, but the Panthers have their hands on the game early. The Panthers have their hands on the game early and are inviting you out to the GC Pit on Tuesday, July 16th at 1 o'clock to watch and play the game against some FIU football players and the esports team, including PawsUp Podcast legend Kewan Jenkins. So be sure to mark it on your calendars and check it out. Next up, I'd like to congratulate an alumni of FIU athletics, Carlos Arroyo, a member of the FIU men's basketball team from the late 90s to the early 2000s, as he is heading to the Olympics as the general manager of the Puerto Rico men's national team, who clinched a spot in Paris after beating Lithuania in the championship game of the Olympic qualifying tournament. Puerto Rico has snapped a 20-year Olympic drought and has been placed in Group C alongside South Sudan, Serbia, and the United States. So good luck to Arroyo and good luck to that Puerto Rico team. Finally, let's end with FIU baseball. Keep an eye out on the TV this upcoming week as there's a Panther who might be getting drafted by one of 30 Major League Baseball teams. The 2024 MLB draft is from July 14th to the 16th, and Paws Up podcast legend Ryan Guida will look to enter the big leagues after a stellar career with FIU, cementing himself as one of the best sluggers the Panthers have had in a while. So congratulations in advance to Ryan, and we wish him nothing but the best of luck in the pros. So that was your quick look at Newsbreak. So Oyin, thank you very much for spending some time with us so far. It's been fun. And now I'd like to talk a bit more about this past season, which again was nothing short of amazing. So
Yeah.
when your freshman season ended, what was the message from Coach Cat heading into your sophomore season about how you and the team can better yourselves to defend your championship status, which you ultimately ended up doing?
Okay, she was really direct. This is so funny. If you don't
Okay.
win conference this year, I think I'm gonna jump in the lake in front of GC. Direct. That's what she said. And she was like, okay, so we have to think bigger. Right now, the goal is to, I don't know, be quarterfinalists in the NCAAs. And she was also like, I want to have like 3 players in the NCAAs individuals. So we kind of set bigger goals for ourselves. As you can see in the schedule, we actually didn't play a lot of conference matches before the actual conference
Yeah.
because we wanted to like play harder matches, to prepare for the conference and for the NCAAs. So she was very direct. We just went straight to work. It was like, okay, you have to play in the NCAAs next year. I ended the year last year, 60 something. She was like, okay, next year you have to be top 30. It was directly a new goal, and that was my goal this year. Unfortunately, I was only 40 something, 45. That was disappointing. But like,
Mm,
yeah, she's more, straight to work kind of woman, directly. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, with the 19-3 overall record, this season was even better for the Panthers, statistically speaking. If you could point to one match in the regular season that best showcased how great not just you but this team was, which one would it be?
This is like really hard for me. Because I would say UF, but we did lose to UF, but we actually, I don't know, it shows like a lot of things for us personally. I would say Wake Forest, that's our best win
Wake
this
Forest.
season.
Okay.
It came right after a loss to UF. We lost to UF 4-2. And UF was like, I think, top 10 or
Hmm.
top 5
They
then.
were number 8.
Yeah, that was like really disappointing for us. We had a very, our
Ooh.
goal Our goal was actually to, I don't know, get quarterfinal in NCAA, and we knew to do that we actually had to beat teams like UF. So we
Hmm.
were going there to win, but we lost like 4-2, and then we ended up beating Wake Forest the next day, and it was really motivating for the whole team. The road trip back home was like really nice. Everyone was excited. We're like, okay, when are we playing UF again? We got it this time. I think that
Yeah.
was the best moment for us.
And there was one moment I think I remember was you guys at SMU. You guys were at the swim and dive during the. I remember that was a cool experience for you guys to be there. But moving on to I guess the conference championship. Obviously it was here in Miami. You guys are at your new home courts, which is obviously cool to see. And really, you guys dominated. You guys swept the whole thing as the number 1 seed. And for them, you were back-to-back champions. Talk a bit about that, being able to really. You look at the numbers. You guys really played tremendous for that couple of days to get your second back-to-back trophy.
Yeah, that was really nice actually, now that I remember. We were a team. We didn't actually play our best tennis at the conference, but that was
Hmm.
the whole point of the whole year. It was to be able to win the conference without actually playing our best tennis because we were strong mentally. We just wanted to win. It was like no excuses. We had to bring it every single day until the conference finals and win the conference finals. So it was really nice to see everyone really motivated. It was like finally we have to win the ring again. The freshies wanted to get a ring like we did. And we wanted a different size of ring. And we didn't want Clutch to jump in the lake. So it was a really nice experience. I would say we held it down and we were disciplined enough to do it.
And obviously, you only won 2. There's more to come. But so far, what has been your favorite championship? 2023 or 2024?
Oh my God. I would say 2023.
Hmm.
2023 was harder. They say the harder the victory, the sweeter it is.
Yeah.
Actually, for us, it was like we didn't win the year before, and we lost to Rice in the regular season. Now we're playing Rice again in the finals, indoor, where they're supposed to be favorite because we play outdoors most
Hmm.
times. So I would say that was deeper for us on a different level.
So now you and the Panthers look to make it 3 in a row, back to back to back in Conference USA, and obviously look also look to have success in the only other tournament that the team hasn't won yet, of course, being the NCAAs. With 2 years under your belt now, full of success, is there any added pressure of having to defend your title once again for the third straight year? And if there is, how are you handling it?
Good, actually. I can believe I'm a junior now, but like I'm really excited for the next year. But I would say I actually have more pressure about the NCAAs. I want to, I don't know, win the NCAAs someday, and of course I want it to happen during my college eligibility. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I would say I have more pressure about that than the conference championship. Um, for the conference, of course, I want another ring. I want my fingers full by the time I graduate, basically. But I don't have a lot of pressure from that. I believe in my teammates. I believe in myself. I'm sure we can do it another time.
Awesome.
I was going to follow up about, you talk about NCAAs, and this year you got to qualify as an individual for the first time. The year prior, you qualified for your team, and you got to, paired up in doubles, one against Ohio State. So, you talked about how much, Coach Cat wanted to set goals for the team, and, you were able to set that goal to go as an individual. So what was that like, being able to experience your first time, competing at NCAA as an individual?
That was a lot of pressure, It was like, that was my goal. And at that point in time, I was like 42. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm in the NCAs. Of course, I want to do really good. And with some good wins, I could actually achieve my goal and be top 30, It was like here for me. And I was excited. At the same time, I was very nervous for that. Of course, I hope I can grow and do better next time. But it was a really inspiring tournament for me.
Awesome. So let's start to close up here. And as we do that, we have some fun rapid fire questions to ask you. And I think Johnny has the first one. So take it away.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of characters on your team, but who's the funniest player on your team?
Salma. I mean, she graduated. I don't know if I can say that. She's hands down the funniest. Everyone can agree on that.
You had mentioned, I think you mentioned Panda at the start, but where is the go-to spot to grab food on campus?
Panda or Tropical Smoothie.
All right, what's the go-to order at Panda?
Orange chicken, and half and half, fried rice and chow mein.
Nice.
Yeah.
One question we always get a lot of debate on: who's getting the aux cord on your team? Who's not getting the aux cord on the team?
Who's getting the what?
The aux cord.
To play music, the DJ.
Oh. Okay, so Salma is the DJ of the team, but I wouldn't give it to her because she plays mainly her music. I would say give it to me. Or give it to Katka, my doubles partner. She plays similar music to me, so I would say give it to her. Don't give it to Salma. I can't.
What's your style of What's your style of music?
I'm actually more laid back, My friends sometimes say it's boring. I listen to really slow music. I love John Legend a lot, so I listen to that, and I listen to Lewis Capaldi also. Yeah.
Does Coach Cat have a playlist?
No, she doesn't. I mean, she loves our playlist as long as it's not the same. She knows all of our songs. That's kind of fun. And she has some favorite. We have a favorite song actually. Oh, baby, you should enjoy yourself. She sings it along, and she really likes it.
Oh, Pop Smoke.
Yeah, Pop Smoke.
Hey, good poll, Johnny. Alrighty, I think I already know the answer to this because you had mentioned her earlier. But who, in your opinion, who's the GOAT of tennis?
Serena Williams. Hands down.
Hands down? Like no contest?
No, I mean, I also love Roger Federer a lot. I mean, he's tough now. And if you're asking me right now, based on my goals at the moment, I would say I relate more with Roger Federer because I'm hoping to be as calm as he is on court. That's something I hope to achieve. I want to show lesser emotions. I want to be more positive on court. And so I would say also Roger.
And one thing, I think I always like to ask. Obviously, you're in Miami, a very diverse place. Have you found any spots for like authentic Nigerian food?
Yes, I did, but I don't go there. I kind of like to order. It's called Sherry Restaurant.
Where is it? Is it close to campus?
No, it's not, and I don't have a car, so it's best to order, kind of.
Okay. Well, good to know that there is some place in Miami that at least has one. So that's good.
Yes, there
We,
is. That's why Miami is Miami. It's really diverse.
I know it's amazing. We
Yeah.
always ask this to every athlete we get on the show. If we were to have another tennis player on this podcast, who do you think it should be?
On the team?
Yes.
Um, I would say Salma, but she graduated. I keep forgetting. I don't know why. Okay, so maybe Katia.
Okay.
Because that would be taking her out of her comfort zone. I can't wait to see her stutter. That would be fun for me and coach to watch.
Okay. Well, we'll keep that in mind. Oyen, thanks so much for spending some time with us. We always like to
Thank
ask the
you.
athletes to do one more thing. If you have anything you'd like to say to the fans, to FIU athletics, to anyone, the floor is now yours.
Okay, FIU Athletics, I love you guys, everyone. Thank you so much for your support the whole season. Of course, we hope you can come watch some of our matches this season. Paws up!
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Oyinlomo. And of
Thank
course,
you.
best of luck to you and the rest of the
Thank you.
tennis team this upcoming season.
Thank you so much.
All
Have a
right.
good day.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said have a good day.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you too. And have a great day to everyone else who's watching this. For Jonathan and myself saying so long and pause up.